Well, during a normal spring or summer, baseball fields like this one would be full with kids playing America's pastime, cheering and laughing, or really any other sport, softball, lacrosse, soccer, you name it. But with the ongoing pandemic, it's been a season without youth sports games. So we wanted to talk to players, coaches, and organizers about the disappointment of having no games and what lies ahead.
We've been practicing and warming up.
For the Malafronte brothers Nathan and Nolan, playing catch in the backyard is the extent of their baseball season, with East Greenwich Little League postponed during the pandemic. If you don't have a season this year, how big of a disappointment would that be?
Pretty disappointing. I was looking forward to it.
In mid-May, Governor Raimondo's update on youth sports was not optimistic, saying following the CDC's recommendations, she could not allow for games in organized team sports.
Until the CDC guidance changes, organized youth sports games in Rhode Island can't happen. That's a rough message. It doesn't mean we should throw in the towel, though.
While kids throughout the state continue to practice in their backyards, organizers are still holding out hope for some semblance of youth sports.
We are hopeful to still have some sort of season. Everything kind of hinges on the governor's plan with the phases. For the numbers to be allowed to be in the same spot together.
In Providence, the Silver Lake Olneyville field doesn't have its usual wear and tear after weeks of use. League President Richard Hemphill tells me he had around 150 kids sign up this spring. Instead, they're planning to pivot to daily baseball camps in late June, something allowed under the governor's recommendations.
How difficult has this spring been?
Oh gosh, it's been very difficult. I did have a Zoom meeting with all of the parents, and they had questions as to when everything's going to start, and they're still motivated and enthusiastic about doing something, because I told them, I said, we are going to do something for the kids, and we will. We can have some small clinics for the kids, and things like that, small groups of kids, and have clinics for them.
South Kingstown Little League President Josh Rosen is still fighting to have a league. He's developed safety guidelines he hopes the governor will consider, including limited dugout use of masks, no fist pumps or high fives, hand washing stations, and even the umpire standing behind the pitcher. As for family that want to watch, Rosen said there's room around the outfield fence.
We put markings 6 feet apart around that entire perimeter from left field to right field. We can get about 45 people standing behind that fence 6 feet apart. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Measures, he says, align with what other outdoor activities have.
There's enough space to make this work, and that's kind of why we're hoping that people at the state level start to see it that way. Generally we can operate in a similar fashion than a camp, in a similar fashion than having the beaches.
Sadly, there won't be a state tournament this year or a New England regional. Little League canceled the World Series in Williamsport in April, so Rhode Island won't be able to defend its New England crown. Barrington Little League, who canceled its 2020 season 2 weeks ago, is the defending New England champ, last year becoming the 5th team in the last 6 years to go to the international event.
I just feel bad for all the little leaguers out there that aren't able to experience the experience that we were last year, because it's just such a great memory that we'll never forget.
Being able to go there and play on that field was amazing. And it really stinks for those kids that won't get the chance.
Warwick North is a softball league that's also been to the World Series, but Adriana Pettinato won't get the chance this year. Rookie, as she's known, is staying sharp in the backyard as North is moving to camp setups as well in late June, per the governor's regulations. She's also hoping to get some game action in with her traveling team, Bombers Elite.
You have to understand what's going on with the whole virus and things, but you still have to practice through it.
And that includes Zoom practices with her Bombers Elite team and practice with Mom.
They've worked really hard all year at home. And prior to that, we were doing indoor practices when we could at other facilities. So they're definitely anxiously awaiting some good news on that.
The players and families both missing the communal feeling.
It's a strong bond that you have within these organizations. It is a lot more than just softball. I know it's kind of sounds kind of cliche, but these girls work really hard. The coaches work really, really hard. And they really just try to bring the best out of their players.
And many parents are rallying to get youth sports back fully. Jillian Yianni, who has 3 kids, started a Facebook group called Reopen Sports RI. It gained thousands of members in just days.
Everybody was very upset, and they're like, you know, why can this happen? Why can kids go to camp, but we can't have sports? So I saw it so much, I'm like, well, instead of us all saying it, let's do something. And that's why I started it.
Yianni says she hopes there is a way to open sports safely, as many parents are dealing with kids already struggling with distance learning and without the outlet of sports for socializing or exercise.
We have to find a way, because our kids are struggling, and it's sad. It's sad to watch as a parent.
Lacrosse is another sport with a tight community and players hoping to get back onto the field. The Hayes family is lucky to have a mini team of 3 brothers to practice at their house as they await the Rhode Island Bulldogs to return to action.
You miss sports a lot. You never knew how much you miss it until it's not there anymore.
It's boring after a while, like without having all the practices and games.
Cody O'Donnell is the program director for the Bulldogs, and he's trying to keep the Hayes boys and the rest of the players engaged with online workouts.
Putting together kind of some little workouts, stick work, footwork for them to do to keep them active. I mean, it does help, but in the end, the main goal is for them to get out and play a game.
And without games, O'Donnell also has contingency plans for small groups of players.
At this point, the kids will do anything, the parents will, even if it's a group of 5, getting out there if we can use field space and whatnot. And I mean, it is sports and exercise is critical for a child's development.
Now, while Governor Raimondo is adhering to the CDC's recommendations not to have youth sports games, there are states that have already brought them back. Meanwhile, what do you say to the kid who wasn't signed up for a team sport but still wants that physical activity outside? Frenchtown Elementary phys ed teacher Christine Carr says, keep it simple and fun.
With my online learning that I've been sending out, I'm trying to make the lessons functional, give them equipment that they're going to find in their house. It goes back to when I was a kid. We didn't have a lot of stuff. We didn't have a lot of money, so we really had to rely on our creativity. You know, get in the garage, pull out things that you want to be able to make an obstacle course of, and focus on some of those real fundamentals of the skills.
Wait, did she say obstacle course? Our own WPRI Backyard Circuit Challenge has gotten some youngsters outside and using their creativity, all with the goal of staying active.
Something that you'll be proud of in the end, the way you looked at this situation. We're all in this boat together. It's tough, no doubt about it. But these are the moments where you sort of have to tap into your own ability to persevere.
And like distance learning, playing sports at home will take some getting used to. But the hope is, with small group and camp setups, kids can eventually get that physical activity back and camaraderie before the games eventually return. I'm Yianni Kourakis, Eyewitness News.